Hello everyone, welcome back to Riftwind. I am your dungeon master, Patient Tadpole. I've been doing this for a bit. I've been trying to experiment a lot. I've actually built a huge document of all the changes I want to make so that people have access to it, whether or not I expect everyone to read it. I kind of went overboard. I think there's 200 pages already, and I'm not even done. There's like a spell section I still need to finish. But nonetheless, we have all those things we've been working on, and we move forward. Let us all introduce our people. So first, we have Kraken Style. Would you like to introduce yourself for a little bit?
Kraken variety streamer, and also chill guy who just likes to have fun and do some content.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So we have a new player here, Just Paranoid Fiends. If you'd like to introduce yourself a little bit.
I am the aforementioned Paranoid Things. I am a speedrunner / variety streamer, and I will be running a Forest Gnome Wizard today, specializing in illusion.
Heck yes. Got it all figured out there. And to our right, I always get the visuals. The camera's backwards on my side. But anyways, to my side is good old T-Lore, been here since session 0.
Yep, Captain Gilbert is here. I am T-Lore. I mainly do YouTube. I've been recently getting into streaming since I built a PC. So check me out on both.
Alright, so, really quick, a little retcon to make sure that everything stays in canon. When you guys woke up that next day to in Riftwind, you notice a note on your friend Cassius's door, just basically saying he has some things to take care of, some business he needs to make sure to balance out, and he will be absent for some time as he works on that. I will be working with our good friend Grenade as to what his story is, of what's going on, while you guys are out on your adventures. But for now, that whole adventure, as you guys went downstairs, saw that people are missing. Big issues there. That was something you guys did on your own. But day goes on. Day goes on. The people have started to settle down. It seems like a lot of the adventurers that have come back are busy working. They need to make a it seems like they have to lead together. They're building a document. They're documenting all the things they need to do, and they're all working together to like add into it. As you were not on whatever adventure they did in Draenolin, you don't really have much input there, so you guys have time to choose. I believe you guys did choose what your next quest is going to be, if I'm correct.
Believe we did. I don't remember what we chose, but I know we chose something.
You chose Haunted
We did
House.
choose something.
You chose Haunted House,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's what it was, because it sounded fun.
Yep. Which, always great when the team chooses Haunted House as a fighter. Like, when the fighter and the rogue are super adamant to be facing ghosts at level 1. Always going to end well, you know? So,
Just for clarity, we are assuming I am not with the party at the moment.
yeah, I'll bring it in just a little bit.
You take your time.
Yeah.
Whenever it fits best.
Alright. It's honestly, yeah, it should be pretty simple to add you in. Because so, do you want to do any quick story while you're up here and picking up the, quest? Basically, every session, the way that it works... How's it going, Crassio? But, the way that things work with this session is... Whenever you guys go on quests that actually take you out of Riftwind, you guys will have the equivalent of 7 days to recuperate from your last quest, to buy any purchases, get yourself prepared for the area you're about to go into. So once you pick your quest, you then have your 7 days. So this is the moment where you just pick up the documents. You probably... I mean, do you want to ask anyone in Riftwind about... Like, I kind of... It's hard, because I need to leave it to you by, like, having trouble giving you any guidance there, you know?
Well, is there anybody we want to go see? I'm trying to think. To preface this, I am saving rock candy for when Gur comes back. I'm not doing rock candy without Gur.
Yeah. So we have a whole rock candy side event that we just we don't want to continue that without everyone involved.
That brings me so much pain. I just can't put into words how much pain that brings me and the thoughts you put into my head.
Not to mention, honestly,
it's a
given
lot.
that his character is he is a merchant himself. As far as he knows, the things he could be taken care of is pave me the way for the rock candy. That might be why I'm working on with Gur later.
Wait.
But here, I'll just start you off. So, as you guys are like doing this, you kind of realize facing ghosts, you've never actually fought a ghost. You're not sure if your sword could take care of it.
Yeah.
As you're doing that, you probably need some spellcaster, something of that nature, and given how that kind of prank that booyog, booyog, booyog did on you, and things like that nature, you're not sure how confident you are with all these new guys. Fortunately, it seems like a new guy is coming up the steps, as there are always the Riftwind Explorers, with the missing people, need more people to fill their shoes. As you guys are just trying to think of who to choose, a small gnomish man starts walking up the steps, kind of nervously checking around the surroundings. First time here, it seems. I'm assuming he has a spell book on his side, which makes him probably knowledgeable about magic, which could be useful when dealing with ghosts.
This place looks interesting.
Oh, so, yeah, Paranoid. The place is basically, the idea is that it's a tavern on top of a tavern. Everyone in the tavern is only adventurers. So the place could probably host about 50 people. This is at the most people here, I think you guys are at your biggest size right now, which is 22. As to why it's only 22, you'd have to see last session as to why it's only half full with everyone here. But it seems like just a general tavern ready to, like, have a party of drinks and stuff, but there's just a lack of people at the moment.
Perfect. No, you're good. I was actually just, like, assuming the role. I assumed you were talking about me.
Yeah, yes, I am talking about you, of course. If you'd like to introduce your character a bit, give me a description of him, I'm perfectly down for it.
I walk in the room. I very cautiously check my surroundings. First time in the building, I walk up and I introduce myself as Igden Augur.
All right. So, most of the people are just kind of, they're all circling around one large table, and you see a tiefling person kind of writing stuff in a book. And so we're like, oh, we need to add the drain worms. He's like, I'm working on that. That comes later. And they're like adding in information, talking about some sort of event that occurred recently. But it seems like they're all too focused on that. As you introduce yourself, not a single person at that big table turns around. Maybe one looks and then just gets back to what they were doing. It's the people on the side. There are a few that are just kind of solemnly stay at the side. One is a halfling that's holding up a piece of paper that seems to be like a mission, kind of looking around and probably catches your eye. There are other people, but as I said, the majority are all encircling this large table.
Okay, so I'm assuming I'm approaching the halfling then?
Sure, yeah. No, I apologize if I force you. It's like, I don't want to force you guys, but I also don't want to leave you guys with nothing to do. So.
No, you're absolutely fine. It gets smoother once the new player is actually in the party.
Yeah, once everything's all put together, everything gets super smooth. But for now, yes, the new player. So Igden then approaches Captain Gilbert, saying that he seems to be looking around for something, and no one else is really paying attention to this gnome that just came in.
Oh, the fighter's a halfling. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a halfling pirate.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Would you guys like to describe your characters a little bit so that everyone understands what they're looking at? We will.
Kraken, you want to go first?
Yeah. Let me see. Here, it's been like weeks since I played.
Yep. So we've had to keep getting delayed just due to issues with getting enough people to like line up their schedules. Like that's always an issue with Dungeons and Dragons, but with all of us having to be streamers, it also has additional issues of when it runs into special streams, when it runs
Yeah.
into live events outside of streaming, all that. So we unfortunately are not doing this as often as I hope to.
So, first of all, Geos is more or less amongst the royal type. So, one of the things of note, it's been so long that I haven't had to describe him in like a long time,
Yeah.
you know? So I may need some assistance at this point.
You see an Elven Man. Behind the half-lead is a Elven Man, quite thin and lean, quite precise in his posture, wearing purple and red cloaked in purple and red garb of quite fanciful design. As if the symbol, it's a... Usually, you know, with royalty, they'll have insignias somewhere out there. Their insignia seems to be of just a large brain.
Yeah.
Of the brain. Captain Gilbert, Paranoid, I want you to just imagine the most pirate-looking thing you can think of in terms of clothes. That's what Gilbert's wearing. Pirate, halfling, loves gold, has weirdly developed a weird food thing in recent sessions of eating weird stuff.
There's a rat tail still
mainly because
dangling
of
from
the-
his teeth.
Yeah, there's like some poison resistance in there, so it's like it became a thing. It turned into a thing. So food is now a character trait.
If I'm correct, you also have an eye patch, so like you're only seeing it.
I do, yes,
Yeah.
I do have an eye patch.
As you said, in the most piratey theme you could think of.
Don't have a hook. That's the one. I have all my limbs. Eye
No
patch.
hook, no peg leg. Got it. Alright.
For my character, I'm obviously a gnome. You see me like I'm kind of tattered rags. You can tell that I don't do my daily sit-ups. That's what I'm saying. Like my daily push-ups, my daily sit-ups are not getting done. I'm using that time to exercise the mind. Small hunch, but you see me. You can tell that I'm still fully battle prepared. I'm not going to be pulling you up a cliff, but I can save your life.
Alright.
Dig it.
Small creature with a
Nice
hunch.
to see somebody of a small stature. Also, I'm used to looking up to everybody.
Gosh, it's also kind of funny because Captain Gilbert has like the highest strength of this entire party, so often it's this little half-lead carry, like if there has to be like a carrying mission.
Yeah, it's a little halfling carrying everything.
Well,
I
let you
love
guys
it.
introduce each other for a bit, roleplay with each other, get a sense of who you are, that sort of stuff.
Paranoid, you were walking up, right?
Yep. So I'm going to throw everyone off real quick. I'm going to walk up and I'm going to introduce myself as Orcas Windseeker.
All right. Welcome, Orcas. Nice to see somebody who's also on the smaller side. Always welcome, fellow small brother.
Why, thank you. I've heard rumor of help needed by a group here.
Oh, Igden. So, this is the Riftwind Explorers. It's basically the main hub where whenever issues happen anywhere in the multiverse, effectively, and we can't
Okay,
find
we talked
anyone
about
here.
this. My bad.
Yeah. So he's the only one that you see holding a mission slip. Everyone else is too busy stable
Avengers,
to actually
basically.
be taking a job right now.
All right, I'm a little on the awkward side, but we can do this.
Let's roll with it.
So you have a mission?
We do. We decided we wanted to go on a little ghost hunt. Tadpole, I don't know where it's at. But we're going on a ghost hunt. I'm not exactly suited for fighting ghosts. I've never interacted. You have any history with ghost busting?
Here, I'm about to pop up at the thing. Everyone should be able to see it. The mission.
There it is.
For the people watching the game, I just popped it up. It's a haunted house. The mission is called Haunted House, 500 gold victory, set by a person named Bobby Mann. They were told to watch a local manor until the family arrived for it, and every guard they sense has claimed it's haunted and refused to go beyond the starting gates. We'd like someone capable of removing whatever spirit seems to haunt the place. So, that's the basic missions. Set.
My problem is I'm willing to do anything. Ghost sounds like a fun thing to do, but I don't know if I can fight a ghost. So we need people that are willing to do this and that can help.
It would seem that another spellcaster is afoot then. What per se is where you come from?
I did not properly do my homework. We talked about this.
Yeah, don't worry.
Can you help me out, Tadpole?
Yeah, so you introduce yourself as Orcas Windseeker, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so the Windseekers are literally just like a nomadic tribe. So you can literally just say, I am of the Windseekers for where you come from. And it would be in their nature to not introduce any more than that about where they're from. I'll talk to you, if you want, I could talk to you a lot more about your character after the session.
Yeah. So I'm going to introduce myself as of the Windseekers, and I'll kind of leave it there. And I kind of do note that I don't carry many damage capable spells. I do have the capability to deal damage to an ethereal being. However, I am focused on a more battlefield control type of mage.
Ah, so that's very well for support. I'll make note of that.
Doesn't hurt to have someone helping around like that. We're only myself and Child of Geos here currently. Yeah, we could definitely use the help, no matter what you got. Plus, if you can help out with ghosts, it's good enough for me.
When in doubt, kill him with fire.
Exactly.
All right. If you
Let
guys
me pull up the mission real quick.
If you guys would like, so there are quite a few things you can do. Basically, this is part of a learning experience. I am going to be willing to allow you to just come in underprepared. You guys do have technically 7 days to prepare. This is the equivalent. I'm using harder, gritty realism, so this is a long rest in gritty realism time, and you can use that to, for example, there is a library that is available if you want to research some stuff. There's that forge. Now you guys have money. You can actually get something crafted, perhaps. There's the constant merchant shops moving around. There's plenty of places for you to go. If there's anything in particular you guys would like to do as preparation.
I for sure need to get something that will make me useful in the slightest for fighting ghosts. Whether that's an enchantment or a new weapon.
Alright. Perhaps you would want to go
That's on my list.
Alright, so on your list, you're probably going to that forge that we went to last time. What's it? I have to look at my notes to find it, but it was the forge. I know it was Odrin's Forge or something of that nature.
Yeah, that interaction went really well last time.
It did not. It didn't, but the whole reason is because you did not have money.
It's very true. Very true. We got kicked out.
Let's see. Fordorn Cove.
Be sure to show your
Odrin's
coin on the
Forgery,
way in the
yes.
door.
Yeah.
So that's
where I would personally like to go.
Alright. So I'll start with that, and then you guys could tell me where you guys need to do during your sessions. Are you going alone, or are you bringing the group with you to get this taken care of?
And if the group wants to tag along, I don't know what else the group wants to accomplish.
You guys do have 7 days, so I'm just going to assume... Yeah, we have 7 days. I'm just going to assume the group tags along for every session, even if it's for one individual. So that way, if there's interaction that wants to come up, you guys can have it come up. Alright. So, Igden, as you are walking with the group, they bring you to this small, like, it's a small burnt building that you can actually see, like, dirt stuck on the ceiling of it. as you go inside, there's the ceiling is shaped like triangular, and there's just soot covering the ceiling. It's gone another 5 feet thicker of soot since the last time you guys came here. There's still that red dragonborn working on that anvil. You could actually see more. It seems like they are working on a great sword, and they've just been working at piecemeal by piecemeal. Like, the tip of the blade has not been forged yet, just the base of the blade at party to pull out. The entire sword is just a deep red hue, and just maintains that color going on. As you're doing this, that same lizard-looking person comes up in front of you. So, do you need something this time? Do you have money for it?
I do. I do have money this time. Please don't
Good.
kick me out.
Good.
I'm looking for something that could help with ethereal beings, the ghost-killing variety.
So you need a simple magic weapon. Well, what kind of weapon do you want
Correct.
to look for? We could also enchant if you
I
have
prefer something that's... You guys can enchant. I would prefer to stick with my rapier I've had for ages. You guys can enchant it.
When I look at your weapons, then I'll tell you which ones have better means of enchantment. So do you hand them both your weapons? Or just your rapier?
I'm just gonna hand him the rapier for now.
Alright. Let's see. You see them, actually they, pull out, a snake-like tongue and start licking the blade. There's a little cut, they have to, wipe off blood. So, What's this weapon's name?
Oh, put me on the spot there.
Does it have a name yet?
This is just my trusty pirate sword. It does not currently have a name.
Enchanting.
It's been with me since I started pirating.
And the person takes the blade and kind of brings the hilt forward, stabs it into the metal. It doesn't really stab in, but puts it as if it would stab the metal. Sees how it falls, and kind of rolls slightly, lands. It's seems to have a solid connection. You could name this, and perhaps get yourself a proper blade of that nature. But there is some work still to be done. So, I'm assuming that means I need to tell you a bit about magic enchantment and how it generally works. A simple blade to get magic enchantment is not that hard. All it takes is a little understanding, a little naming, but if you want a specified blade, if you want to have a thing on your side, you have to connect with the weapon. Not all weapons can speak to the person, but all proper weapons are animate. All proper weapons have a voice within them to connect it to the person wielding it. That's why some of the greatest weapons you have ever seen have names. I cannot enchant this weapon yet. I can give you... If you really need a blade for the ethereal, we could give you a simple ghost dagger. But other than that, you're going to need something with a name or with a deeper connection to you. Perhaps while you're at the mission, you can work on that.
Can do. I have a couple ideas in mind.
A simple ghost dagger will be 75 gold pieces.
Do that. Got 179 on me.
Alright. So, the ghost dagger is equivalent of... The blade seems to be made entirely out of silver. So, you can see it glistening in the light, but it also seems like it's not very well built for, general weaponry. It seems blunt almost in the nature of how it was crafted. The idea is it will attack ghosts. If you use it on things that have magical resistance, it deals additional damage. It acts as a +1 weapon. But if you use it on things that don't require that resistance, it's a -1 weapon. So, it's actually worse than a regular dagger. And being just a dagger, as a swordsman, you'll probably want something better eventually. But it will get the job done. You could probably sell it back for half price later on. That sort of thing.
Makes sense. I'll definitely keep that in mind for stopping here after this mission, after this session.
Yep.
Cool. Do I need to add that to the inventory, or will you do
Yeah,
that?
I'll make sure to take care of it. But for now, yeah. Is there anything else you want here? Any long-term crafting?
I don't think for me personally. I have some ideas rolling for the sword and the name and such.
Yep.
I'll figure out at a later time. I think for now, I'm good with the Ghost Dagger.
And for the two of you?
Is it assumed I already have all the components needed to cast my spells?
Yes. The component pouch is assumed. Like, we can walk through each specific spell, but I think you might not have Identify, because that's a pearl worth 100 gold pieces. But other than that...
that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, other than that, the rest of them are there. And the pearl, you would know this is not the place to purchase it. You would probably want to purchase the pearl. We'll take you to the library afterwards, and they'll probably have some material components and stuff like that there.
Yeah, I'll just assume that I've kind of sat in the back, like, distant enough to not get in the way, but close enough that I'm still associated with the party.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I'm assuming as we only have one fighter that you guys aren't doing anything here. I just want to confirm. Geos, nothing from you?
I'm good on my end.
Okay. So where do we want to go next? There is the multiple places I showed you on the map last time. I could probably pull that up real fast. I should have it pinned right here. So there's a map of the 8 static locations, including the... So there's the library, there's the forgery, there's Niwa, there's the guardhouse probably isn't going to have anything. Fortune Cove is probably not for you. Hall of Pantheons is probably more for clerics than your kind. And yeah, I think that's most of the things. So if you guys want to prepare for this specific mission, I think that just leaves that one place, the Windseeker's Library.
Sounds good.
Whew. So,
At some point in time, I don't know if you really want to roleplay any of it. I just want to make sure to assume that I have gotten my... I can spend my 10 gold to get charcoal incense and get my familiar online.
oh, yes. If you want... Yeah, no. Definitely, I'm 100%. You can just say that you did. It's one of those things of just like, oh, yeah, while we're at this library, you just purchase the proper incense, and then within those 7 days, you spent an hour to make a familiar. Alright. So, as you guys... I'm assuming...
Excited for the familiar. Jeez.
Alright. So you guys do go to the Windseeker's Library. As you go to this library, you were told many things about it, Igden. There is a lot of... you've heard it's like a place where they keep all of their knowledge, but not all of it's accessible. You did hear one thing that makes you kind of dislike some issues with the Windseekers. They're very scatterbrained, and in that sense, the library is rarely organized. Often you'll just find shelves of books of, like, this is the history section, and there will just be, like, a fantasy story list. Like, it'll have the tag for fantasy, but it'll just be sitting there in the front of the fiction section of the history section and stuff like that. Or you're looking for a specific book, and it's several shelves that direction, and you just have to be lucky enough to find it. Also, you get the thing that makes it a little hard for other people to use the Windseeker Library. As you guys open the doors to this large, tall building, you find that it's not like... Well, it looks like it could be a 4-story building. It's actually just 1 story. And in the center, there's just this very long shaft, like 40 feet tall, just a circling library, just circling shelves going 40 feet high of just books. Just all, like, shoved in there. You'll see every once in a while a person that's flying around who will just pick up a book, read it for a bit, set it down on another shelf, fly off. Pick up another book, read it a bit, set it on a shelf, fly off. Just kind of moving around in this library above your head. While there are majority of people on the ground reading it, there does not seem to be ladders. You do see one person just like very carefully climbing their way onto what would be the second story to try to reach a book, but it seems like that's not really well thought out from their side. As there is one of those kinds of people that well, how do I explain this? You guys kind of hear in your head, "Welcome to the library. Is there anything specific you're looking for?" As to your right, there is a bald humanoid-looking thing. It's the same species as Kala and the other wizard that you've been working with that doesn't speak. And they're just kind of staring at you. Well, they're not even staring. They're like reading a book and just kind of nonchalantly noticing that you guys came through the door.
I'm gonna kind of raise one finger and I'm gonna be like, do you have anything on spirits or common ethereal beings?
Common ethereal beings. Which realm are you looking for? Through your keen mind, you do know it's said that the realm is called Stanbird, but there are multiple realms, and as you're about to learn, different realms have different ways of dealing with spirits.
Yes, we are looking to prepare for a mission for the guard captain of Westgate in Stanbird.
Thank you very much, Dealer. The first guy I've looked up... is this your first time taking on a quest?
Mine, yes. I can't speak for them.
Well then, they pull out a key and just hand it to you. The guild's library is in the top, far left corner. If you head that direction, he points. You notice that over the corner there is a locked door to an extra room. And they just basically give you that key and then continue back to reading their book.
I'll silently accept and head that way.
Yep. As you go through...
Right behind you, Orcas.
It seems like, as you pop open the door, you notice that there's an additional library. This one's actually far more well-kept, and different shelves have names of, like, a shelf that says Stanboard, a shelf that says Dirk, which is the realm that you're from, Igden, a realm that says Geos, which is the world you're from, Kraken, and...
Yep.
Just generally, it's like they have different themes of like history, lore, notable differences. You notice in every shelf, the first book is like this pieced together book that's called like the compilation, and it looks very similar to the book everyone was working on in the room when you guys were, when you first came in, Igden. But so from there, you can make sort of knowledge checks. So tell me. So first off. What is it that you want to learn about this plane? Basically, this is your chance to say, hey, I want to know this, 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 and this sort of thing. What do you want to know about the plane before you go into it? And this is technically limited by time, but I think you guys, with 7 days, not really having anything else to do, will have enough time for this one. You are on push to talk, I believe, Paranoid.
My bad, thank you. I'm going to do that more than once, but I'm going to be looking for the commonality of ethereal beings, how common they are, how they, whether they can be manipulated via like certain spells like Charm Person, etc., and whether or not they would take damage by traditional means, such as like a simple firebolt, or whether you would need a higher level spell to cast.
So, let's see. So they basically note, as you're reading through it, you notice that there's different realms. Like, Sandbird is basically split into 5 realms, separated by sea. Like, it's it's known as the Realm of the Open Seas, which, as the captain, our dear pirate captain, is from that realm, he probably knows that very well. With that aspect, there are summoned spirits and forceful spirits. Summoned spirits work as you would expect. They cannot be... Charm Person itself would not work on it, but something like Charm Monster would. They, the summoned spirits are just as you would expect. Firebolt would work, that magic dagger would work, that sort of stuff. Summoned spirits are very easy to interact with, and that sort of nature. Forceful spirits are ones that, like, came out of the afterlife by just the sheer force of something must be completed, something must be done. Those spirits are a lot harder to interact with. Those often, because killing those spirits didn't work the first time, to put simply. Generally, they must either complete a task or be convinced that said task is complete. Generally, some of these, there's the basic. I haven't thought of how I'm going to adapt this to fit that world, but there is a common story of the ghost ship, of a ship that the entire crew refused to perish, and so they sail the seas looking for something in particular. And it's one of those ships that, if you encounter, you head the other direction. If you're not in their path, they probably won't interact with you. But if you do end up in their path, it's a ghost ship that you cannot fight off, because every spirit just comes back to life as you slay him. So, there's stories of that nature. Sounds where, fun. Yeah, Captain Gilbert, I will say you've seen it once, but you know better than to interact with it. You have had to detour.
We're not going near that.
Yeah, you have had to detour your course one time for it, but so you know it exists, and but other than that, that's all you know. And you can tell from a distance because the entire hull is broken open. The ship should not sail, and yet it does without any issue.
We'll get there, Captain.
But fortunately we're not on sea. Other than that, they have simple theme. Is there anything else you want to know? Because yeah.
Anything?
For me personally, I think given my limited number of tools I have, I would kind of like to just start reading like spend any excess time reading like random lore of the realm, hopefully to be able to just have a little bit of common knowledge about how people act, behave,
history sort of things.
Yeah, and build tidbits of knowledge that may or may not come and be useful later.
Thank you. I'm glad someone kind of went in that sense. I'm going to note that you probably are going to note that, as I said, there are 5 realms, correct? You probably don't have time to research all 5 realms, but from your keen mind, you do know that one of those realms, you could easily figure out like which one is Westgate. There is a Western realm known as the people generally call themselves the Servants of Seville. It's important to know this because they have different cultures, and this is where, and as you're looking through, you'll see a map. It's important to note that they have your teleport location, where you would teleport into. And while it's called Westgate, it would actually be on the far east of that side. Westgate is the entrance to this place. If you guys didn't look that up, you guys could end up wandering randomly, trying to find it, and going the wrong way. So, where you guys will teleport, you will need to go east.
Very good to know.
It seems like you'll actually be teleporting into an effective desert, and there is like several paths. Let me see if I can get the list ready again. Quest notes. Haunted house. Story moments in order. Yeah, so there are 2 general place directions you could go. Willow Cove or Willow Crest is the 2 paths you're going to have to go through. Willow Crest is... Willow's Crest is a city that is generally seen as... This is a safer route, but would take much longer as you have to go around this mountain range. Or you could go through Willow's Cove, which is just kind of straight through the mountain to the other direction. One is faster, but might be more dangerous. The other's slower, but would get you there more safely. That is a decision you guys will have to make as you get there. The history, unfortunately, does not cover really much about that, other than that. The general knowledge of Seville. The reason they're called the Servants of Seville is that this used to be like wasteland territory that no one could really enter, just monsters and stuff. And a necromancer by the name of Seville actually came over and basically used their necromantic powers to conquer the entire land. The thing is, a lot of people think necromancy evil, except Seville then used their servants afterwards to help maintain infrastructure, to help farmland without needing a bunch of farmers. Seville actually made like a pretty thriving society during her time when she was alive and around. This land became the strongest of the 5 kingdoms. And then one day she just wasn't there anymore. She's a necromancer. With her power, it is likely she has the powers of undeath and could keep her life eternally. She was only about 69 years old or so when she...
Nice.
So she was old. But she wasn't that... For a necromancer, she should be able to live eternally. And she didn't die by old age. But she just one day wasn't there anymore. And even this, there is said that there are the searchers of Seville who are still looking for her to find where she is now. And generally there is like a respect there, and there is, you're going to note, a lot of concern for dark powers. While the exact dark powers, you are an illusionist. One of the things I have alterations to classes. As an illusionist, he has certain schools of spells that he is limited in knowledge in, and one of those is necromancy. You now know that there are necromantic spells that you have to watch out for, but you don't really have much experience. They give like a list of them, but you can't really identify how you would solve your concern with it. There are several necromancy-only spells that Seville herself created that they have learned that other realms do not have. But generally, it's just people... The general way I would describe it is, if there's superstitions, assume people to hold tightly to superstitions in this realm. So...
Okay.
For my own notes, I heard 2 different things. I don't know if I just misheard. There are servants of Seville and then searchers of Seville.
So the
2 different...
Yeah. Okay, so the servants of Seville is just generally like, as people who live in America, we call ourselves Americans. As the people who live in the kingdom of Seville, they are servants of Seville. So everyone here is seen as a servant of Seville, because all of them have triumphed and prospered because of Seville's actions. So therefore, everyone in this realm, you can call them by the term fellow servant, and it would not be an insult.
So it'd be a distinction between like citizens and militia.
Yeah. The Seekers... Well, yes, the Seekers are probably more militia and stuff of that nature. Seekers is just like another group inside of the people. These are the people that are really... This isn't the Americans, it's the America! Like, it's the people that are super dedicated to it, kind of waving the flag around, saying, I must protect this country at all costs, sort of thing. Those are more of the Seekers. The people looking to bring back the glorious days. Bring back the person who brought this kingdom together.
Sounds fun. I'd like to meet a Seeker.
Alright.
We get all this knowledge all at once, by the way. So this is like one of the 7 days, or how are we going to do like the timing?
I will say this takes multiple days for Augur to figure out. As he has keen mind, we do not have to worry. If he ever asks, all right, how does this work again? I will just tell him. If you like mess up on your notes, I will fix it for you. You don't have to worry about that.
Perfect.
So, with that, is there any other like preparations we want to do as you're learning more notes? So as I would say, that's 2 major pieces of information. So that'd be 2 days of studying over your 7 days. It is assumed that obviously you prepare your familiar. It doesn't take too long. You could probably note to your party that you would need a pearl for one of your spells, and you do not have the money for one. If the party would like to chip in for that.
How much does a pearl cost?
100 gold.
If I'm doing my math right, you said the dagger was 75, right?
Yep.
I have 104 gold left over currently.
I have I have 227.
I do make it a point to note that unless we anticipate needing to identify some form of magical item, the pearl is unnecessary for the scope of our mission.
You guys think? Haunted house. So.
Definitely ethereal things. I don't know if that leads to magical things. That is a risk for you guys on your goal. I would, of course, reimburse you at the completion of the quest too.
Oh yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right. 100
Getting it
gold
back.
knocked out from Captain Gilbert, and a pearl necessary for
4 gold left over now.
Yep, a pearl necessary for identification and several divination spells is now in the inventory of Igden.
Perfect. Now, do I need to add that somewhere?
For now, we're not going
I'm
to
trying
worry
to get
about
you
it.
to roll 20.
Yeah, I'll worry about all of the getting the systems stuff stuck together after the session. So we can just worry about, all right, you did this, and I'll memorize it, I'll take care of it. But during the session, we just move forward.
I already subtracted my gold, by the way, Temple.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else have anything else they want to do before we finish the 7 days? Have ourselves ready?
Should probably figure out which direction we're going. Which cove or...
Yep.
Is that one crest?
Crest and Cove. You can also...
Should probably pick one.
Yeah.
In my time, did I read anything that would have signified us a advantage territorially?
So, all I will say is that the Cove is actually... Or, the Crest is the name of the city. The Willow Crest is the name of a city in there. It's not a big city, but it is a city, so that would be another place if you want to, like, make sure you have enough rations and stuff. Unfortunately, other than that, all the information, as you kind of notice the, like, write-ins, the post-it notes inside of the books, all the information inside this part of the library is compiled between other Riftwind explorers. If you want to look for something specific like that, you would have to go to the library itself. And as I explained of the hardships of gain information in the library, it would take an investigation check, and the more specific it is, the higher the DC of the investigation check.
I legitimately have nothing else that I'm doing. I will make the investigation check and
What specifically you're looking for?
Can I make it with? I'm looking for information on specifically on the cove.
All right.
And then could I make it? Could I elect to make it with disadvantage, and kind of just skim over several books that I might be able to trade in the mission for an advantage on a intelligence check?
So like for a future intelligence check, just basically you're saying I would like to trade it in to have better scope knowledge?
Yeah. Basically, like, so I'm gonna pick up and read anything on Westgate Stanbird, and I'm gonna flip through and read several pages out of random books. So I would be trading in a disadvantage now, basically getting distracted reading random knowledge for an advantage later in the mission.
This is the only thing you're going to be doing for the 7 days, correct?
Yep.
I'm going to decline on disadvantage, but I would like you to make 3 different investigation checks for 3 different pieces of information. Let me switch over so I can show you guys the rules.
How do I roll the d20?
Right. So click on your character sheet.
Yep.
So your character comes up, and there should be a little box that says, so your box, you see at the top, it has advantage, normal, disadvantage. Normal should be clicked right there.
Yep. And then just click investigation?
Yeah, you just click investigation, and it will roll for you. Oh.
And you said 3, correct?
Yeah, just click it 3 times. 9, 8, and 22. Oh, that was... So, the first one, you find a section on Stanboard, like it's specifically your section, and you start reading, and you read about plants. You realize, hey, you hear about plants that they have this whole their way of dealing with forest fires is instead of trying to dismiss the forest fire, they make a spore that that ignites, so that it just causes a major explosion to kill off itself and plants nearby it. But like the explosion destroys the ground, so that the fire can't follow through and get to the other plants. As you're flipping through, you realize you're reading it for a different plane of existence. This is actually not standard. So you go to the next book, and you curse that they didn't organize well enough to let you figure that out. The next book is about a strange magical phenomenon where
not to cut you off, could I note the plane of existence that I realized I was reading about?
This is actually, let's see, which plane should I put that one in? You're gonna note that this is actually, surprisingly, your plane of existence. It's actually a plane from Dirk. You do know, like, you have not really gone to the observatory, the natural side in Dirk too much. And this seems to be a plant that is going near kind of extinction. There has been, like, people are trying to keep this plant alive because it keeps blowing itself up, you know? Like,
Perfect.
Someone accidentally uses a torch to guide the way, and then the entire explodes at the what's it called? The tunnels capsize. Like, doesn't exactly... It needs help to survive, basically. Someone with dark vision needs to fight it and make sure to get it to somewhere safe without fire.
Love that.
Another one is about a magical phenomena that turns... You notice the phenomena actually is one that intrigues you. It's one of those things of, I know this is not what I'm looking for, but you just, as you read it more, it just compels you to read, as it's about illusion magic, that there's certain realms where one illusions, it strengthens magic, and the one effect that has on illusions is it makes it that as long as people believe it's real, it acts as reality. Therefore, like, if you cannot pass the illusionary wall until you realize it's an illusion, then you can walk through it. That sort of effect. It also could allow illusions to actually injure people by, like, turning them the equivalent of a summoning spell of a higher level. So, that is of a magical effect. You do not know... it does not note the cause of it, but you have the things to identify whenever it occurs around you. But this doesn't really help you. You get sidetracked by that, because very valuable knowledge for an illusionist to know, should that ever come up.
I want to pull out my familiar, which is a small squirrel, and I just want to pet it and say, we have so much alike.
I love this squirrel familiar.
Yeah. With 22, you do find something on Westgate specifically. You find that the point of Westgate is it was the fortification city. The point of Westgate is that if any of the other kingdoms attack this western territory, they have to go through Westgate. The walls are built in such a way that it all funnels them through Westgate. Is less pressure to try to break through Westgate, the city, than to try to break through these walls. And if you break through those walls, you'll be doing it in a short time, and they can just pick you off with arrows, sort of thing. So, generally, and approaching this place from sea, the place has very, like, jagged shores. There is one location where people can, like, that's a port city inside this Kingdom of Seville, and other than that is very dangerous to approach by sea. Because of that, Westgate is basically the military front of the kingdom. It is built to be for combat, for those situations, and as you heard that they use dark magic, you've learned, as you read through it, Westgate has recently been using contracts with devils and demons in order to help assist them in getting the reinforcements they need to deal with threatening situations of other kingdoms.
Love that.
So, there will be devils.
And
What's up?
I also want to assume that as I relay this, I'll relay this like all this information each night, just preparing. But I do want to make it a point to say that I continue, like, every time we start talking about Westgate, the devils, the demons, I keep like falling off track to the magical phenomena that strengthens illusion magic.
Yeah. So you're just like that. Exactly. That's a compelling information. I'll make sure. Should that occur, you will know. Like, I will describe how the air is thicker or something like that. With a simple detect magic, you can tell. Oh, this is in effect.
Gotcha. And then you mentioned earlier, necromancy was not in Stanbird was not inherently an evil act.
Yeah. There are undead there, but like keep in mind, necromancy is used for resurrection and stuff. Necromancy is never an inherently evil act, but it is very easy to use necromancy for evil terms, given that its ability to animate dead and stuff like that. Generally, the idea... So I will state, with alignment, I do not care about evil and good. I care about intentions and how and what you will do to get them. Evil are people that have intentions that they will... Like, chaotic is more, I have no rules as to what it will take to get them, where lawful is I will get them, but I must follow these things. And then what you want, and like, yeah, to what degree. It's sort of those sort of things. Will you sacrifice someone if it gets you the value you want, and is that value something that saves others, or is it for yourself? So, generally speaking, I don't consider a spell evil. I consider the actions with the spell evil, and given that there are necromancy spells that have like a material component, I'm thinking of a conjuration spell right now, but like there are necromancy spells that have like a component of an ounce of blood. Like, suddenly, the means of getting that spell active might have some questions.
And I think that will kind of wrap up everything I'm doing in the 7 days prepping.
Right.
I didn't mean to just hog the spotlight.
No.
If anyone else had anything that
you're the wizard. This was the value. This is the opportunity. Basically, this is value for everyone. Like, this is one of the things that all the information you gave meant that everyone else will be supported in that way. So, I think we're perfectly good with that. Thank you for asking so that you guys didn't wander to the west to get to Westgate.
We absolutely would have gone west.
I'm certain of it. Alright. Unfortunately, this does mean that during your investigations you did not find anything about Willow's Crest or Willow's Cove. So...
Alright. We want to... Well, I mean, do we want to take the longer way? Have a nice little pit stop? Or do we want to be quick about it? And probably fight some baddies along the way?
The pit stop would be the crest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
As long as I have the rations I need, I'm game to dive right into the cove.
All right. So
Okay.
I will give this description since you could probably measure out how long each one takes. So the way I'm going to do this is that I'm basically going to have, as you guys move forward through the area, there's going to be survival checks you take, and every time you guys finish a survival check, that gets you closer to your destination. And once you hit a certain threshold, you reach your destination. That's basically how I roleplay travel. So that works with skill checks. So that someone who, like, if you guys have a survivalist, you guys could probably get there faster or like avoid more hazards along the way. But also allows the world to develop as there are going to be hazards along the way. If you go through Willow's Cove, the total, and basically it adds up till you reach a total. So the total you will need to get to Westgate using Willow's Cove as your pathing will be 30 total. So like you might be able to do that in 2 checks. So you might only have 1 encounter in there. Going through Willow's Crest, it will take a total of 50. Now at 25, you will have a rest point where you guys could take longer rests, where you guys can restock, possibly get some healing potions, things of that nature. If you really needed to, you could take a long rest there probably, but that could have consequences. But you could basically, it's a stopping point at 25, and then you have another 25 till you get to your destination.
Okay. Just the way I look at things, if Cove is 30 and we have to go 25 till we get a rest, we may as well just do 30. I mean, that's how it is in my mind. I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Can we make that decision? Like, let's say something dumb happens and we land on 27 and have a particularly rough fight. Can we elect at that moment to like just sit down and take a second, or because like a nat, where like a nat 1 would put us in danger.
So yeah, I will allow you. So whenever you guys, so I am doing gritty realism rules to an extent, but I also like the idea that you should be refreshed a little bit between each fight. So I allow you guys to spend hit dice between combat encounters.
Okay.
There might, as for if you want to take a short rest, you will have to find a place where you could set up camp. You would have to find some places at camp, and you do not know what Cove looks like other than it, like, by graphical, they give you what's it called? You have a kind of geographical map, and it looks like that is a plateau of some sort. The Cove. It seems like you go up a hill. It's a higher thing, and then it kind of goes flat. So you're not sure where you would go to set up camp or anything of that nature. Yeah. I don't know what to say otherwise.
Okay.
Like, I'm giving you information.
So we decided we want to try Cove.
I'm definitely game.
All right.
I'm game as well.
All right.
Let's do it.
So we're hanging on the quest. Only 1 hour of preparation. No, that's part of it.
That's fine.
Yeah, no. All right. So as you guys are all set up, you have your ghost dagger in hand. You have your knowledge ready. Kraken, would you like to have just said during that week you went back home to Geos?
I'd say so, yeah.
All right. Oh, simple theme. That spell that that I created, that I homebrewed. That spell is what you were practicing. Through Geos, you noticed that you had that ability, and with his assistance, you perfected it till you could do it consistently.
Sweet.
Because I know it takes time to learn new spells, and the same way, our sorcerer has learned a new spell. Specialized one. One of the things is, as I know, there's an issue where like every spell in the game is transmutation or evocation, and I want to make sure there's a variety of spells. Like there's a horrible lack of necromancy spells and stuff like that. So I'm going to allow people opportunities to craft certain things. Like T-Lore, you might be able to craft a battle maneuver. Our wizard and our sorcerer might be able to craft spells. You will have to, like, through story, it has to make sense that you've learned what you needed to craft this kind of spell. You can't just say, oh, I want this. Like, if you do, you're going to have to then walk through the process of how do I make this work in real life, sort of thing. So, but there will be that sort of crafting situation whenever you guys want. That is one of the things you guys can be doing during these 7 days of preparation. Trying to craft a spell or something of that nature. Whew. Alright. Well, with that all, you guys pick up your rations. So generally, I will either have sessions that you worry about rationing and surviving like that, and I'll have sessions where you don't. And this is not a session where I'm going to worry about you guys' rationing and surviving. Some planes of existence, you will need that. Some planes, you just generally won't. This plane, generally it's based on the following issue of, there's certain rules and regulations that there are certain things you cannot bring to another plane. It's the same reason that, like, you cannot bring people from Dirk into Stanbird unless they have the Riftwind pass. You cannot bring plants from Riftwind to Stanbird. You can't do things of that nature. But, like, usually rations are made of tack. There are some planes where even things as simple as food can be denied. And so for those planes, we will need to worry about rationing, but we'll actually usually start with survival to get the food and then rationing that. This is not one of those planes. You do not have to worry about food for this session. Alright.
Cool.
With that, let's see if I have the story moment. So I did a few little story moments. I'm just going to read it through. I'm going to figure out if I just messed myself up or if this is perfectly fine. As you leave through the portal, you enter a small, seemingly ramshackled together shack. Shaking the walls hard enough could cause the place to come apart. And there's the breeze hinting that this very thing has happened before. There's holes in the ceiling showing the many stars of the midnight sky before you. As you gather your senses, you see a man slowly shambling away across your view. The scent of decay seems to fill the air as the broken man waddles towards the southeast. Let me move you guys over to a different area on your screen. As you guys, this area is in darkness. Therefore, I've lit up the areas where your dark vision can cover, and Gilbert is the only person without dark vision. That being said, one of the things that I gave for your abilities, you effectively have short distance blind sense. So if you're within 5 feet of someone, even if you can't see them, you could still attack them normally.
Cool.
So with that, you guys, as you teleport into this ramshackle place, Igden, when you came into your realm, the Windseekers had their special teleporter. They had basically a chapel for it. Same thing with Child of Geos. Gilbert, you did have that one. You did notice that was pretty ramshackle, the one you entered through. So maybe this is just the theme of your realm, like this. But nonetheless, this one is falling apart and around you. They cannot see our fighting screen, but they can see our faces, and they could hang out. So we're just recording this because we had too many technical difficulties. We're just having fun. We're continuing. So what are you going to do, Orcas?
I am looking to...
Yes.
How can I draw a line on roll 20?
All right. So if you scroll down, you'll see like a view, and so it's the pointer arrow, then it's a box, paintbrush, magnifying glass, and the next one over is a ruler. You click on that, and then you could just drag to make lines. Taylor's doing it now, and there we are, Paranoid. Or that's GS.
Yep.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Over in the left corner, there's like an arrow, then a cube.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay.
See, look, this is like 50 feet away from me. Whoa.
Yep. And the reason I've switched to this screen, everything is measured as it would be in DD. So yes, that guy is 50 feet away from you.
Getting geometry flashbacks. I don't like it.
And this is incorrect.
I hate geometry.
I forgot to put the 3.5 system of measurements. Oh well. Oh, you have it on no snapping. That's why it's doing that weird percentage-based thing. But that's okay. But you're shooting it that direction, just straight down?
$120 feet. Yeah, you can light up the whole area. And push to talk, Paranoid.
My bad. Yeah, so I just want to light up the whole 120 feet straight down, see if there's anything else, and I want to get basically consent from the party that this may draw attention to us.
It's the worst that could happen. I'm ready.
Okay, so I launched the firebolt.
All right. And for a moment, you see the light. As I'm going to just light up the area nearby as you guys as Captain Gilbert gets a view and other people get a better view. Let's see, where is it? Reveal areas. I'm just going to reveal the area in front of you guys and heading down.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so one of you is able to see the one on the right, one's able to see the one on the left, and then I can see the one down the center. With a couple hushed whispers and quick talking, we can come to a pretty quick conclusion that there are 3 of them.
As you make that noise, you suddenly hear like a louder moaning coming from the one at a distance. As that moaning then echoes to the 2 here. And then you slowly hear the reverberation of other echoes down in here, around here, around here. There are others around the building. And that did draw their attention.
There's only one way into this room. Just guard it.
So,
And I can make it.
What's up?
I did not mean to click that. However,
That's okay.
that is kind of my intent.
All right, got it. Shall we roll initiative and get ourselves ready for this? Let me pop that open. All right, so what you do is you need to click on your character and then hit that initiative button. But fantastic otherwise.
Make sure you have the pointer selected too. I was trying to do it with the ruler.
Yep.
That's not a bad
Yeah.
roll.
No, I was trying to. I was trying to open it up and make sure I was reading everything correctly, but I accidentally hit the cast button instead of the information button.
So.
Well, never mind. I made the mistake, so.
This should work. And I hit initiative.
All right, what button am I hitting for initiative?
All right, so I rolled them.
I thought you said.
Oh yeah, you hit the right button. You hit the correct button. It's just you need to have your character highlighted when you do it. Oh, okay. I guess that was actually sorry. That was the wrong person. So keep your character highlighted. At the top of your character sheet is the initiative. You just hit initiative. It's the letters itself that allows you to click on it.
Yup.
Unfortunately, when I rolled it, I didn't click on it because I forgot. So now I have a
Gotcha.
13
Thank you.
instead of a 17.
And here.
To be honest, I'm so used to having a +7 initiative for the past
Just a second.
for the past 2 weeks. Fun fact: in another campaign, I am playing a wizard, and he's a war school wizard, or basically war magic. So
Oh, War Mage. Yeah.
he essentially has war mage. So essentially, he has a +7 initiative because one of the perks.
Dude, that's nice.
All right.
Yeah.
So first, we have
I don't
ourselves.
always the thing.
Sorry.
You can go ahead. I was just doing small talk.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you. So with turn order, it looks like the zombies are. I made 4 groups of zombies. It seems like they actually perfectly place themselves between party members. Anyways, first is the readying phase, and you guys do notice that the zombies are kind of their sluggish effect. Zombies do not make any actions during the readying phase. They are incapable of doing any readying actions. So as for spellcasters, generally the readying phase is used to prepare of, oh, there's a first level spell I want to cast. I have to declare it here. That's usually what they do. Fighters, such as Telor, Captain Gilbert, you have the engage action that you have much experience with. There's also now the guard action. The guard action will increase your AC by 1 and give you an additional reaction for things like opportunity attacks. So if you don't want to reroll your initiative or move faster or anything of that nature, then perhaps guard would be a better readying phase theme. I do want to note that because those are some of the themes that I added recently as I was making that huge document. So this is your moment for you guys to prepare, set up your turns so that we can have a smooth going through the turns.
And I take it reactions only, like, just a reminder for myself, I can use reactions if I'm as normal.
Yeah,
I
as
don't have
normal.
to call the... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So even if you don't prepare shield, you can still cast shield when the time comes.
Alright, just want to make sure.
All right.
As a quick question, can like these squares right here that are partially obscured, are zombies and or us able to occupy these squares, or is that considered wall?
I'm considering it as wall for now. As the building starts, I did say this building is kind of crumbly, so you could probably break it apart to stand there if you want. But generally speaking, it's considered wall. Also, I will note it's wood for your fire spells.
Gotcha.
You do not risk igniting the wood on fire unless you try to like shoot and like ignore cover sort of effects.
Yeah, my intention then is to grease this block right here that the arrow's actually going to.
Awesome. I get it. Yeah, it would be here to here, sort of thing.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, you just prepare. You don't even have to declare where the circle is. You just have to declare that you're preparing the spell Grease. So.
All right, perfect. So
if your plan changes,
so if the environment changes to where I want the grease in a different place, or even don't want grease,
yep,
I could default back to like a firebolt.
Correct. You could always default back to cantrips without any issue.
Perfect.
Gilbert, engage or guard, because those are really the two options of most. Oh, also Gilbert, during this, when we roll initiative, you decide what weapon. What are you going to use the rapier, or is it time for your ghost dagger? Or
well, I mean, we're against zombies. I'm actually probably going to use pistol just because I don't want to go out there.
Oh, okay. You got the pistol. All right. So yeah, in case Igden, like you've seen many weapons in your realm, the weird little small device that he pulls out is not one you've seen before.
Just so you know, I am not preparing any spells at the moment, so I'll just go in with cantrips.
Okay. Do you want to use the guard action or anything like that then? Guard or engage?
I'll do probably. So guard allows me to up my AC.
Ups it by 1 and gives you additional reaction.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
Okay. And Gilbert, you did guard as well?
Yeah.
Alright. So, you guys have yourselves readied. The zombies did not do any readying actions. And Captain Gilbert is first in initiative. Oof. So I'm assuming you're... Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to move down a square so I can actually hit this thing.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to move down a square and then take a shot at this zombie that's on the right.
Alright.
Because I think that makes it past the cover.
Yeah. So it does cross the wall. That will be half cover, which increases its AC by 2.
Okay. That's fine. I don't have a better angle right now.
Yep.
I will do that.
Yeah.
Is there any special way I need to roll it?
I don't know
no,
if
you just
count
roll
this
it
as,
normally. It's just...
I don't know if you count this as metagaming, but I don't know how much he would understand what I'm doing. But I'm with casting grease into there.
Yeah.
He may feel comfortable like walking into this pocket right here, knowing that these two areas are going to be.
Thank you for bringing this up. The whole point of the readying phase is for you guys to synergize and figure that stuff out during this phase, so we don't have to work through it during the turns. So if you feel there's a pocket safe, you could present it to him as part of the readying phase. And yeah, feel free to do it during his turn now.
All right, perfect. Some people feel different about metagaming and what is considered. So
yeah, my general rule is if it's still fun for the game, like it's not one person taking over everyone's turns, it's perfectly fine to metagame.
Yeah, I don't he can do whatever he wants. I just like to reiterate that these two blocks will be filled up with grease, which means they'll have a hard time even standing as they enter those squares.
I will note in my statement that metagaming statement is assuming combat. When we get to roleplay, metagaming becomes a lot more stringent, but I don't think roleplay metagame is something I have to worry too much about.
Gotcha.
Cool. Okay, so you said you're greasing squares, these ones?
Yes.
Okay. Well, how much can I move and then still attack?
Up to 25 feet.
Yeah, it's 15 feet there.
Yep, and if you're standing in the doorway, you don't have to worry about the cover when shooting.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Glad we discussed it.
Yep.
I'm still going to aim for the one on the right, though.
Yep. It is dark, but I'm going to say that that firebolt lingered long enough for you to not worry about this turn, and in future turns, they might be in range of your kind of senses to be able to not worry about.
Yeah, this is the sense. Cool. Normal pistol shot, right?
Yep.
Cool.
There we are. That easily hits the zombie for some good damage. As you hear a loud crack of the pistol as it fires at the zombie. And that's your turn?
That will be my turn.
Alright. So let's see. So the first zombie group, walks over. It's now within your range of your view as it does its first swing. And let's do this public so that you guys can actually see it. So it doesn't hit very hard, but it manages to land very easily. Like, as you threw your shots, it just managed to just throw its hands out and arc down at you. You did not expect the amount of force that hit with, but that's 3 bludgeoning damage unless you want to use your reaction for something.
And refresh me again. How does the reaction work?
The parry, it uses your reaction and one of your superiority dice when you get hit to reduce the damage by 1d6 plus 3. You only have 2 superiority dice per short rest, though.
I'm not going to use it this early.
Okay. Just want to confirm. Alright. During this thing's turn, you will also notice, let's see, what's their movement speed? Alright. More zombies start funneling through. You can hear them walking around the walls. And you actually hear one slamming against the wall over here. I'm going to just reveal the area a bit since it's very obvious by noise that there's one there. As that one's going to just slam its head into the wall and start breaking a hole into it. So the hole is big enough for you to start shooting at it as if there wasn't a block there, but it's still holding up. It's starting to crumble a bit. Geos, your move.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be doing a Mind Sliver here. So let me see. DC, so it's...
Yep.
Right here.
Can you point one more time?
I'm doing it on the zombie that's nearby, like right near.
Thank you.
Right, hold on a second.
Thank you. So this one right here.
I was thinking this one, let's do that one, yeah.
Okay. So it needs to make an intelligence saving throw, which as a zombie, I doubt will be very good at. No, it will not.
That does not pass anyway.
Yeah. So... Wait.
So essentially, I gotta roll the d6. Did I roll the damage already? I think.
Yeah, it's rolled with it. So you dealt 3 psychic damage, and I believe it has disadvantage on its next saving throw, which I will note by this little lightning effect there.
And what? I hear the wall, right?
Yeah, I've made it visible because the wall is starting to break a little through.
So I'm gonna have Geos. I'm gonna move Geos right here. And that's gonna be my turn.
Okay. Next group of zombies. This one, let's see what's its movement speed. 1, 2, 3. So this one will walk up to you, but it cannot actually get a good arc to swing at you. It actually had to, run at you. Then others start moving down the line. Move on to Orcas.
Alright, so I want to... Real quick, Alright, first things first, Grease comes down. It's already technically cast, I believe, out of my
Yep. So is it
slot.
So is it still this square here or this square here? Left or right?
I'm gonna make it left that way, because there's still more coming from this way.
Grease. And immediately that one needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
Alright. And that is a no. This one drops prone.
And that really saves you, because now he has to use his entire turn getting up, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's like, yeah, it's their entire movement, I believe. Something like that.
I mean, he could swipe at you from the ground with disadvantage, but... Yeah.
Also, it means if you switch over to your rapier, you can stab them with advantage.
Oh, I'm already planning on it.
But,
Yep.
Alright, and then with a little bit of extra turn I have left, because of my illusionist nature, I can cast Minor Illusion as a bonus action.
Correct. Because of one of their special abilities, you can cast Minor Illusion as a bonus action.
How far through that hole can I actually see?
Oh,
with
right. Your dark vision technically goes all the way to the desert beyond. There is something coming that direction, but yeah, it's just kind of into desert beyond, effectively.
I just want to do something. I want to create the sound of like a very purposeful unsheathing of a sword, like right in this area here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my movement to slip into this corner here.
All right. So it sounds like there's a fighter coming from that direction. All right. Next turn. As the rest of the zombies left, which aren't many, move. This one moves in, immediately has to make his dex save. Can you click on the spell Grease? Go to your spells and click on it so that I can see the description in the chat, so it's easier for me to find. Thank you very much. 10-foot square. A creature. Okay. It's difficult terrain and it falls prone. So it uses all of its movement to stand up, which means that at the end of its turn it might fall prone again, but could still attack normally because it could get up, attack, then it falls prone at the end of its turn.
Okay.
So it did roll a 16, but I do believe it has the nerf. So thanks to Geos, so I roll a d4 as well, and so that was actually a 14 on that dexterity score. Does that matches your DC, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Right. Matching the DC means it keeps standing as it swings at you, Telor. With using the guard action, I believe that brings your AC up to 16, and on a ties go to attackers. I'm sorry.
Damn. Alright.
So 3 more damage?
3 more. I got it.
As Orcas, you see something else come towards the sound of your blade, the sheening blade. Nonetheless, closing phase happens. No closing phase effects need to be worried about. As we move back up to the readying phase.
Okay. We've got whatever that is behind there.
Yeah.
And then we got stuff in the Grease square down here.
So here's my question at this point. If that guy's tearing down the wood, is that guy gonna still go for the minor illusion?
You don't know.
That's what we kind of have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Well, I'm banking on the fact that he has to at least use another turn tearing down the wall, if nothing else.
At the very least, you have keen mind, correct? So you can measure, assuming things stay consistent, that wall will take 2 to 3 turns to tear down.
Okay.
Because, one of the things I have with keen mind is, like, you can measure timetables of how long things would take. So you could figure out how long it would take to tear down the wall, which would be 2 to 3 turns. As in, like, 2 additional turns.
Okay. Anybody have any bright ideas?
So we're just in the cove. We're not even to where we need to go yet, correct?
You're in the desert that you have to cross. You're a desert that it's just like a plain that's not going to be hard to maneuver. The cove's to your east. You still have to get to the cove.
Okay, perfect. So Yeah, I have to be very careful about how many more spell slots I actually consume, given that this is going to be still a lengthy mission ahead of us. I'm going to ready Firebolt.
All right, yeah, you don't have to ready cantrips, so you can actually use like a guard action or the. So here's a suggestion: you can use the engage action to reroll your initiative.
Oh, yeah, because you have your initiative right now is 5.
The engage action also increases your movement speed, but I don't think that matters to you right now.
All right, so engage action, then click on initiative again.
Yep. Fantastic. I will put you ahead of zombies.
It's an improvement.
It is an improvement.
5 to 6.
So as far as Firebolt does go, do I consider I consider my like I can launch a Firebolt past him with no issue, right?
Yes. You can as long as you're hitting towards the air, I'm not going to worry about attack rolls. Like if you're using it as a flare effectively, you're good.
No, so if I'm actually trying to put a
Because I'm in the way. Right?
Yeah, so I move to like center here, and then try to put one on target to him. Then he's in the way. He's also a halfling, so he's small.
Yeah, but also you're a gnome, so you're small.
Right.
I won't worry about it too much. For now, we'll say it's just regular. It might end up being half cover in the future, but
yeah, the unfortunate alternative is smacking that guy with a fireball, but
and that guy does have half cover ever for the same reason you guys have cover. The walls breaking.
Correct. So yeah, for now, I'm going to assume that I can lob one past. So I could theoretically line up here and lob one. Could I say make a nice long lob or something?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I will say this.
I have options.
You have options. We will figure out which one you want to shoot then. I'm assuming T-Lore and... Oh, well, T-Lore, you probably want to use the swap action, the swap readying phase, to change out your weaponry.
Correct.
Yep. And
correct. I want to use the rapier. Side question, is Grease flammable? It's asking.
I do not believe it is. It's a different spell that's flammable. Grease is unfortunately not flammable. It's not an oil trap.
My mind was going back to when we made a Molotov, so I'm
yes, I recognize. True Strike Molotov.
Right, give me a second here.
Yep.
I need to dig into something real quick.
All right. Before you...
I'll for sure be doing rapier, though.
All right, awesome. So, do you want to be wielding a rapier and a pistol, or do you want to put the pistol away as part of this?
Well, if I'm holding both of them, it's not like I can use both in the same turn, right?
No, but...
Okay, yeah. Fine, just holding the rapier then.
Okay.
So
okay, let's see.
So I'm going to prepare Dissonant Whispers.
All right. Cool.
Or I'm using the wrong term here.
No,
Say that I'm going to do... I have that ready.
Yeah. No, preparing Dissonant Whispers is perfectly fine. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move forward.
I'm also playing a wizard as well. So because of this, I need to make sure I have the right terms.
Yep. Captain Gilbert. There are 3 in front of you. One of them is on the ground. The one on the ground you have advantage on attack rolls against.
Okay. Orcas, you said you were going to do a long shot to the one that's in the bottom left, right? That's your plan? Just trying to think which one I should target. Concerned about the 16 initiative one that's to the right of me. That also isn't in Grease. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack the one that's prone on the ground.
All right.
And hopefully finish him off.
You know how to click the advantage button?
Advantage rapier.
There you are. 24. Unfortunately, minimum piercing damage, but nonetheless, keeps injuring it, reducing the health totals. And you just hold your position.
I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take one step back.
That will provoke opportunity.
It won't make a difference.
All right.
Do what, sorry?
It will provoke opportunity attacks. You okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. Let me make my opportunity attacks.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
One is... Alright, so the first one was with disadvantage. So that one misses, as the one on the ground tries to swing back at you, does not land. The other two you have cover as you're heading into the building. So, unfortunately, that slam's going to hit. Because 22, even with the cover, that does not bring your AC high enough, even if that's 3/4 cover.
Yep.
I'm just rolling too high. You can parry one if you want, otherwise that's 6 more damage on you. You can use Second Wind after you take the damage, because you still have your bonus action.
I feel horrible right now, just so we're clear.
Okay, this is gonna be the last turn I take the hits without any actions back, because I do have that second wind.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take the 6.
Alright.
See if I regret that.
It is still technically your turn, and you still have a bonus action. Would you like to use the Second Wind now?
How much does the second wind give?
1d10 plus 2.
D10 plus 2. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Yep. Go ahead and roll the d10.
And plus 2, right?
Yep. Oh. Okay. I made a
Oh yeah, I
button
forgot to hit R. Oops.
I made a button for it in your character sheet, I'm pretty sure. I'll go confirm, but I think...
Okay, it's R/1d10, right?
Yep. R/1d10 plus 2. But I made, yeah, Second Wind is on your character sheet, dude. Want me to click it?
I'm clicking a second wind and it's not rolling it.
Oh, well, I just clicked on it. It's over in your equipment, like rapier, pistol shot, Second Wind is in there.
Oh, I see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll
There
let
it
you
is.
roll it.
I see
I'll
it
let
now.
you roll it, but... So, alright, so you heal back 10 health. You're back at 18. You're
That was
looking
a better
healthy
roll.
again.
Here we go.
Alright. As the zombie here has to walk around his prone ally, and immediately with that, make a dex save. Right here. Alright. So he falls prone on top of the other prone zombie, and
That's
he's
what
just
we
gonna
like to see.
fall over. So there's now a bit of a pile up in here. As other zombies start moving in. And the pile up, I think, is going to continue, is my guess. DC is 14, correct?
For Grease, yeah, it's 14.
Others coming in, but there's just a pile up as others are just like, they'll come in, they'll roll with this, they'll roll their dex save, and they just start falling over again.
Everyone's falling over.
So no one approaches, but they keep moving. Child of Geos?
Go ahead.
Okay, my turn it is. So, I am going to cast... I am going to stick with and cast Dissonant Whispers, which is what I said. Let me make sure I pull that up. And I am going to attack... Where is it? I'm going to try to finish off this guy right here.
Alright. The guy in the back?
Should be a range, yep.
Alright. Distant Whispers. So I need to make a wisdom saving throw?
You do, yes.
Which he does not succeed. He unfortunately is prone, so I think at best he could, like, crawl about this far. But how much damage does it do in Psychic?
Dissonant Whispers.
11.
It's not half damage, but you know. Because that failed, right?
Yeah, it failed, so it's dealing the full 11.
Yep.
So this thing barely cleans to... Like, it's barely cleaning on as it crawls away with the voices cacophonating within its head. But it's still hanging on, just barely. Still prone. Is that all you want to do with your turn?
I'm trying to see if I have any other bonus action stuff. I don't think I do, so what I'll do is I'll just probably move close. I'll probably move a bit closer.
You do have your
Right
psychic shove.
here. I do have that, yeah. My psychic shove, wasn't that,
Bonus action, strength save, or they get pushed back 5 feet.
should...
Doesn't really do much here, though, is the issue.
Yeah. I'll just probably stay back for now and play support.
Okay. Sounds good. Let us move on. Orcas is now next instead of the zombies.
Am I correct in assuming that since we are both small, we can share a spot?
I think so. I think that's a 3.5 rule, not a 5th edition rule, but I'll allow it.
I don't know that I'm going to use it right here.
You could definitely...
So
by Captain Gilbert be a halfling, you guys can move through your squares without any issue. Move through...
Alright. So, I could also, with him having moved back one, I could take a pot shot with Firebolt at the only
one stand.
not prone one from here.
Yep. And then you'd still have some movement to get back afterwards.
You can split your movement up into 2?
Yeah. Yeah, you can always... movement happens between the turns. It doesn't have to be entire move action, attack, entire move action. For the same reason,
Okay.
If you have extra attack... If you have the extra attack feature, you can move over, attack one guy. If they fall, you move to another, attack that guy.
Okay. So yeah, the...
Alright. Firebolt. Yep, that definitely hits. Oof. Then it makes a sound as it gets... Its health should have been reduced. Alright, there we are. And then I'm assuming you're moving back and using another illusion somewhere?
Push to talk.
Oh,
Sorry, the numbers on here are a little weird.
yeah, that's okay.
I was having a hard time rationalizing that was 15 feet.
Yeah, no, the numbers here are really wrong because I need to shift some stuff with 3.5 rules and stuff like that. But do you use your bonus action for anything?
Did it appear at all as if this guy right here...
He does not seem to have changed his position after that minor illusion. But I did say there was some other thing over here that did react to it.
And so... An interesting thing about minor illusion, it says you create a sound or an image of an object within range that lasts for the duration. It says nothing about needing to see it.
Oh.
So
you can make a noise outside of the door, like in another room or like in the area you can't see? Alright.
So I wanna make basically the exact same noise, but I guess within 30 feet still, so right here.
Okay.
Like I
Got it. Shown. Alright. Is that your turn? I'm assuming that's your turn, but you just push to talk again.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, zombie...
Hopefully by next Saturday I'll be able to turn that off, but my kids are kind of loud and
Yeah.
I didn't want
Makes
them
sense.
overbearing.
Wow, I rolled 2 attacks on accident, and they both rolled the same damage. And not really good damage. Seems like it's going to be a little longer before it breaks. As for... Yeah, give me a sec. I just need to figure out some stuff. Alright. So then the others start moving. I believe this one does move over its comrade. Another moves in, makes another failed deck save, I'm assuming. Yep. So we have the prone pile growing.
Bow to me.
But we do get one zombie that gets through to attack Gilbert. But this one actually misses. This one actually fails to hit him.
Finally.
Which was a long time coming, though.
Yeah.
This person seems to move. As you get closer, you could hear the sort of sound as it marches its way over towards the noise. You notice that another zombie is following behind it. With that, we get to the closing phase. And is there anything happening in the closing phase? I will say this, you get a better view of that creature that is with the zombies. It seems to be an undead itself, but where the zombies are just like kind of corpses shambling along, this one seems well armored. It has a long sword in its hand by its side as it's walking towards where all of these sword swings are coming, as if it's looking, almost as if it's looking for a fight itself. With that, we are back to the readying phase. You do... actually, can you make a quick either Arcana or Religion check yourself, Igden? You can choose whichever one you want.
Alright, I will go... It's indifferent. Arcana and Religion is the same modifier.
Okay, then just click one. Alright.
Yes!
So, that thing... Actually, I could probably do better. You have history as well, I'm assuming, correct?
Yep.
So I actually have a much better way. I was going to define what kind of undead it is, but I have a better theme. That thing has a little insignia on its breastplate. That thing is armored. The insignia you recognize because you just read about it. This is one of the Seekers of Seville. That thing is an undead that has the ability to control other undead, like zombies. And it turns out that thing was a Seeker that just walked by your visual.
Would I be able to piece together whether or not it's functioning as a source for the rest of the zombies? Like,
yeah, with a 20 Arcana,
it's
with the fact that the zombies usually, you can at the very least make the assumption. Whether or not it ends up being true, you can figure out in time. But during the closing phase is your opportunity if you want to communicate with the opponents in any way. Like, it's usually used for a time to surrender, but like if you want to have an interaction, you do now know that there's a Seeker of Seville out there, and it's not attacking the zombies, and it's definitely nearby, so assumptions can be made. Whether or not it's actually controlling them, you'll have to figure out by interacting.
Interesting. Orcas, question about your little squirrel friend. What can he do?
as a... I'm going to read this mechanically. Actually, I can just toss the Find Familiar spell up into chat for you as well.
Yep.
But
it's basically a support. It's less of a combat tool and more of a support scouting tool and stuff like that.
yeah, so I can see through him if I send him off into a corner. Most everything it does actually takes a full action. So it's I can also dismiss it as an action. I can make it reappear within any unoccupied space within 30 feet of me. So there's a few things that I can do, but it's all action based.
Yeah.
I guess the real question is do we want to assume that he's actually an enemy? Because as of now, all we have is zombies reacting to noises. and a guy running around trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
during the
he
closing
does-
phase, you do have the opportunity if you want to like yell out to him or something like that.
Do I know what language would he speak? Common by
Almost everything speaks common. Yes.
Speak Spanish.
I have a little touch of Japanese in me if things get deep.
Impressive. Je parle un peu français.
I'm gonna go high risk, high reward. I'm going to yell out. If you're a seeker of Seville, we are his servants. Please withhold your attacks.
As you say that, the person like looks over. They move their position, and they could see you through the barricades. And seeing that, you see him raise his hand up, and like a darkness appears in the hand, closes it, and all the zombies just stand straight up, no longer trying to attack. Why did you shoot at? Why?
Well, that's a high reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Definitely
did
high
you
reward.
shoot at my servants?
I mean,
Wait, was that actually a question from
Yeah.
him or?
Yeah, from him, and like you guys have moments to like move and talk and sort of stuff. The zombies are standing completely still, completely straight up.
I take as much time as he'll let me have to explain that upon entering, we were teleported here by mistake, and that we were teleported into this area, not realizing that the zombies had a leader. We thought that they were just zombies being zombies.
just trying to eat our brains.
Yeah, it wasn't until he crossed the threshold of the hole in the door and I saw him that I was able to put two and two together.
He then waves his hand again, and the zombies leave the doorway. Some of them slipping and falling, but slowly getting up, falling again, getting up, falling again. But
amidst the first or second fall, I dispel grease.
all right, they'll start getting up.
Have to do that? We can just let them keep falling.
They then all kind of.
It's called the sign of good faith.
Yeah. He then walks around and approaches you from the inside. So he is now in front of you guys. I'm going to move over to this because I have a feeling that you guys aren't going to try to provoke this fight any further. But, yes, what business do you have?
Somewhere around the 10th or 12th zombie, I was like, oh, maybe we should just try to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hopeful that you guys would fight, but, like, I have no qualms with getting the party killed on their first fight. But... but I wanted to make sure there was an obvious, like, this wasn't a fight you needed to have, but... So what purpose do you have here?
I fumble around and grab the quest papers and show that we were summoned here for the purpose of investigating a spirit. Is it across the desert?
Yeah. So you're heading to Westgate as well, then. Interesting. Seems there is more need there than I thought. Well, we're on our way then.
So, if I may ask, this spirit isn't an isolated issue?
I know nothing about this spirit. I'm at Westgate so that I may enter the glorious combats to face off the foes that challenge them.
Oh, so you're in it for the fight then?
Of course, why else would I bring my soldiers?
Good point. You have some very solid soldiers here. They give me a bit of a beating.
They listen to commands well. Of course, sometimes they act a little aggressive, but... And he just kind of like stares you up and down. But from a creature from the east, should not be surprised. Well, you call yourself servants, and you seem respectable of our ways. I know better than to know those that come from Seville and those who don't.
Uh-oh.
You are muted, Igden.
I'm going to give a nod, and I'm just going to say, we appreciate your time. We apologize for any inconvenience, and we'll be on our way. And I immediately just start walking the other direction.
They are... Wait, when you mean the other direction, do you mean towards your location or just away from them? Alright.
If I can prioritize towards our correct direction and away from them at the same time, that would be great.
So, I'm not sure if you might have misheard me. He said the phrase, you're going to Westgate 2. The direction they're going is the same direction you're going.
I'm going to head 100 feet south first and then take off.
We do not want to be walking with these guys.
Alright. How about 100 feet north first, since they were heading southeast?
That works.
Alright.
Yep. Opposite direction.
Alright. Well, now we continue our way to the cove. So, the way I generally have it is, during each check, there's people that are the survivalists. There are the guides, there are the watchers, if anyone wants to stealth, they need to do that. Generally, it looks like with this party, it's you guys are going to have to work together. There are some people that are going to have to work together to guide, and probably one person that observes. So I could have up to 2 people doing the same job, because at 3 it starts getting complicated, or everyone starts rolling for a theme. There's not really... Unless someone here wants to stealth, I'm assuming no one here is really suggesting going ahead of the party. Alright. So let's have you guys choose 2 people to make a survival check to kind of track your direction, and another person to make either a perception or investigation check to kind of watch your backs in case a fight occurs or something of that nature.
I can take care of our back with an investigation.
Alright.
I have you said survival checks, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I have a 1 survival check.
I have a -1
Same.
in survival.
Well,
It's not good.
So, Telor, if both you and Kraken work together, I will let Telor roll with advantage, which I think is the best you can get.
Okay.
You only need to get 30 points to make it to the location, so...
Okay. Cool.
and then I can watch our back within... I have a 6 to investigation.
Oh, yeah, that's solid. I'm a -1 investigation.
Alright.
Let me ask real quick. Apple, how far do you want to get into surviving the cove, knowing that I gotta leave? Is it better to stop, or is it better to stop before we?
I'm planning to stop when we get to the location.
Got it. Okay, let's do these checks then. You said survival with advantage, right?
Yeah, survival with advantage.
Would you prefer that I roll survival too, or is that good
Yeah,
enough?
the advantage is you're basically giving it to Captain Gilbert since he has the stronger check.
Okay.
Alright. Story moments. Alright, so with 17...
Take that 17.
You guys do make it into Willow's Cove and start making it through. So, as you're going up there, I'm going to give a bit of a description. A great mountain seems to have been split apart to do some great magic of the past. The starting travel is as you would expect, steep, rocky, and heading ever upward. Berry bushes and simple wildlife are around you, making the land seemingly plentiful, but deeper in though, the land flans to a near plateau, and is filled with jagged paths and grey dirt. Random spires of forsaken rocks jut into the sky, and pits falling to razor-sharp points tell you that this land has been warped to be as volatile as it is. Walkways across the terrain can be found, at times being only 5 feet or so wide, with sudden drops hundreds of feet downward on one side and 90-degree slopes upward from the other. Random alcoves too dark to see deep within spot the area, and at times a bristled and rough nest of some large bird can be found on the peaks of the higher rocks. This definitely seems like... It seems like you were getting into a place where there is wildlife, the ability to move forward, and then it just, gets into this jagged terrain. With a survival, I'm just going to state that you get there effectively. Can I see the investigation check? You notice nothing. All right.
Noticing nothing may not be a good sign in this one.
That may be bad.
Yep. All right. Can I get another survival check? I will have it a survival and an investigation check. So if both of you could just roll basically the same thing again. See how we fare? 14. All right. Gosh.
A 2 and
Paranoid,
a 4.
your rolls today. But that will be a 31, so we will be gained there. And with those investigations, you're not going to notice anything else. I'm just going to go with that statement. So anything that occurred...
Being stalked by something.
Anything else? Hold on, wait, what? Do you mean anything
ambushed.
again?
You guys end up going... Like, the crest, you guys are just kind of focusing on the path ahead. At times, you're just avoiding those things. You guys travel during the night. You just want to get to your location as fast as you can. You actually get there before as sunrise is starting to come. You manage to get all the way through Willow's Crest. Just constantly moving. Keep going forward. You're a bit exhausted, but you make it there. As you get to Westgate, a raging fire can be seen in the distance. A less keen eye would think the town itself is burning. But it's the destruction behind its walls that is so great that the pillars above them. A destructive battle is being waged on the other side of the gates. Demons fly in the air and are shot down with arrows, bolts, and spells. The flames still burn as you approach the western gates, where a human soldier nonchalantly feeds a raven on his shoulder. As the western gates kind of extend far beyond the city and just like cover the entire western side before you get to ocean. Cavernous rocks. As I said, there's that fire ahead, and there's just a person sitting there, just kind of, there you go, let it. As you guys walk on in. Do you want to just do this conversation tomorrow, Gilbert, or do we want to do it now? Like, do you just need to get off and go?
I mean, if we can do this conversation real quick, yeah.
All right. So he's just feeding the bird.
Better to knock out the conversation, I will forget.
Just kind of notice the three of you standing there. And how may I be of help? You're not splat.
Yeah, we just arrived in Westgate. What's that?
He's like, you don't look like part of the SARS.
We were summoned here to take care of some business.
What business would that be?
There's some hauntings going around a specific house.
From behind him, I fumble through my pack and pull the paperwork back out.
Ah, you're the people from Riftwind. And he just like looks at the paperwork and just kind of looks wide-eyed, shuts the paperwork. Don't show that to normal people. Don't show that entire thing to people, all right? Not around here. But yeah, it seems like the paperwork's valid. Just go there. The mission man is over at the far gate near the battle. Make sure he has a good eye on things around him. Just go ahead and walk on through. Most of the people, you'll see most of guards if they stop you for paperwork. Do you have like a badge or something to say you're from Riftwind?
Do we? I don't remember. We have like a little
You do.
emblem. We have little emblems, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Use that next time you're asked about this. All right? Go on ahead.
Can I just want to like walk up as they start walking away. I just want to walk up to them and I just want to be like, is this a forceful spirit? I did some reading on the nature of spirits on this plane prior to coming here.
I wouldn't. That's not my specialty, sir. I wouldn't know.
You don't know anything about the situation? I heard a lot of people.
I guard the outer walls, not the inner ones.
Understood. Thank you for the information.
Make sure to keep your hands to yourself as you get there.
He got a little freaked out, didn't he?
He seemed freaked out by something on that paper that you gave him, not more than anything else.
Could I examine the piece of paper? No, knowing that he's freaking out and like.
Every word that you see on that paper is what it says on that paper. There's no like special markings or anything like that.
So it is in the wording then.
It's in the words.
Interesting. Maybe it's.
Do I have access to see that again on?
Oh yeah. I can pull. I can pull up.
Yeah, if you click on the little newspaper in the top right. Oh yeah, or he can do it.
Yep. Let's see. So it's in handouts, player quests, and it's called Haunted House. And I can just hit this button to show to players, and that should pop it up for you. Anyways, I do think the next conversation will take too long for you, dear Taylor. So I think this will be where we start closing it up, and we can, Paranoid. We can talk about some stuff after this. I know we have to talk about your backstory a bit. So how about we just close it up here, and we'll continue in just a bit.
All right, perfect.
All right.
I'm excited to be a Ghostbuster next session.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that we had all these technical difficulties and such. We will do what we can to fix them. Don't really know what was happening on, but anyways, I am Patient Tadpole. I am Dungeon Master. Thank you so much for watching. Would anyone else like to do the outros? Kraken, anything you'd like to say?
Not in particular now.
Alright. Well, thank you very much for coming, Kraken. Always glad to have you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just gonna step out for a bit anyway because
Alright.
I just feel
You got
the
something
need
you
to
need.
like take a break for a bit.
Understood. Paranoid, any last thoughts you'd like to say? How do you feel about
Who
this
are you
session?
gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
no, it's great. It's great. It's gonna be a lot to wrap my head around to begin with. But I'm liking it so far.
All right, glad to hear. Taylor, any last thing you'd like to say?
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Patient Tadpole podcast. Check out the next episode.
All right.
Until the next episode sometime in the near future.
Yep.
Please, and also make sure you bring out your popcorn next time. I know I've seen people in the audience not using popcorn, not wearing it.
All right. Well, everyone.
Please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times.
Beautiful things. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.